My name is Dr. Ezekiel Akande. I'm the chairman of Glo 99.1 FM radio station in Akure. Well, the experience has been very okay, in the sense that I've had the opportunity to know a lot of people, to work with them. Very, very talented people, all over the country. And I've had the opportunity to meet with them and work with them. And this radio has really grown beyond my own expectations. In the next 5 years, I want this radio to be heard all over the world. I want us to have programs that are life-changing, that will impact the generality of our people in Ondo State and throughout Nigeria. I want programs that will, be talked about, that will change things, that will change people. That's the kind of program I'm itching towards. And we are not there yet, but we'll get there, especially with the crop of people that we have and the creativity that are available, and also the problems that we have as Nigerians will spur me to come up with these programs that are very impactful. What would I have done differently? I would have loved to be given a loan by BOI. Bank of Industry. I had to go into this on my own, and that really set the boundaries as to what I can do. I could do, I think, because I would have probably done better, expanded more, recruited more people, and just people who would brainstorm, creative people, just for that purpose only. I would have done that, but I'm getting there now. Trying to get in the right people who are hungry, who are angry, so that we can really change the way we do things here in this country. We start from our own locality, Akure and Ondo State, So that's why I'm here. That's why this radio is. There's no other purpose. Yes. I'd like to mention all the KBCs around me. The Ondo of Ife, Obade, who's my personal friend and who's been very helpful. Especially I've been issued just to get the license alone. It was very paramount. Then there's the Deji, the Oshimawe, then there are other Obas that I just can't mention. Oshimawe was great. He's a great man. And the Deji too, these are great people. I'm sure I'm just grateful to all of them for actually attending the grand opening. I have to attend Pastor, the pastor at what's it called now? At the prayer center, Oluwamodede, is my friend as well. I'm surprised that I just momentarily forgot his name. So he's been very, very helpful, especially in the birthing of this center. In a very, let me just put it that way. I've known him for many, many years. Many years, almost 20 years. And I think he's been fantastic. Okay, apart from that, I have to be grateful for people who have worked in the background, who are consultants from Lagos, from Ibadan, from everywhere. They've worked as consultants on the background, and they are doing things, even though you don't see them. They are calling me midnight and giving me certain advice. They are coming here midnight to work on the radio, to make sure the reach is great, the sounds come out right. And these are people who are faceless. I thank them all as well. Oh, well, what birthed it? It's a long story. I think the pregnancy, if you use the word birth and pregnancy, was in 2018.
Okay.
When I had this overwhelming, this overriding desire to have a radio station. And I think God told me then to come home and do this. And I just dismissed it. I'm not the kind of person that would be, mushy about stuff like this. So I dismissed it. And it kept recurring to the extent where I asked myself, how do I start? Who is this talking to my mind? Why am I, what have I got to do with the radio? I'm a medical doctor, for Christ's sakes. So eventually I gave in to the voice. And for one reason or the other, I was prodded into doing this. Sometimes I forget it and something comes back again to remind me. So that was how, then I got this house. It was a miracle. That was when I knew God has a hand in it. And because of that, came here. The main purpose, however, is to give voice to my people, to the people who have been marginalized in all of Ondo State, especially in Akuku, because I'm from there, even in Ilaje. In those areas where people's voice are not so heard, because they are not in the center. I want to bring government close to the people so government can hear the people and then plan for the people. We want to bring people to the table of government. That's the work of God. That's one reason why I say this is not my project. This is God's project. People just walk up to me. People just call me. Some call me from the US and say, I want you to call this person. I want you to be part of the team. Some people will come and they will bring others who are smart and expert at what they do. And I'm like, I'm boiled over. I just couldn't be grateful enough. So, you could see that here, I did not know even one single person from before who is a member of my staff. I never knew anyone. Because people, consultants bringing them, one person brings the other. I hear about someone, I call that person, would you want to be part of this team? And they say yes. They buy into the dream. See, some of them are employed elsewhere. They buy into the dream. That's how we have this. And we're still an ongoing process. Well, Nigeria is my home. There's no, people are jackpying according to, well, I did too. I did jackpot in 92. And a lot of people, I don't blame people who are living, but I did what I know best and what is in my best interest. Because after you've lived a while there, you want to come home. You become dissatisfied with things there. Or you die there. And that's not a choice for me. I don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over. Although my situation is a little different. But, I just want to do something else. Something that I've given to myself all my life. Now I'm going to give to people. I'm going to give of myself to the larger society. I'm done. There's nothing else I want that I can't have, that I don't have anymore. And I want very little, really. Because at this stage of my life, my own purpose to serve people, everybody, to give of myself. That's my purpose. I've given to myself and my family, for a long time. Now it's for me to give. That's what will make my life sublime. That's what will make me feel fulfilled as a person. So it's not about me getting and getting. It's about giving. But my needs are very little right now. My kids are adults and they live abroad. They can find their own way. I have a wife also who lives abroad, and so I'm kind of complete. I'm in a situation, in a state of mind where to be fulfilled, I have to give. I have to give of myself. I have to give of what I have. I have to give of what I know. To give, continue to give to the very end, and to burn the candles at both ends. That's my aim. Yeah, when there's fear, it's impossible to do anything. Most people want to come back home, but they all either complain of the insecurities, the light, the this, the that. But those things will continue to be with us. We won't have NEPA or whatever as best as US or UK has it. We won't have that. We won't have our roads paved like that. We won't have security like that. We won't have this. And we'll continue to have fear. But there's something intrinsic that this country has, which is perhaps maybe not tangible. It's just that it is home. That's all. It is home. A lot of us want to come back. I know many doctors who want to come back, but there's always pointing to this. So it takes courage. You just have to do it. It takes courage to come back. We can build the best houses here in Nigeria. If you don't have that courage, somebody else will live in it. You won't be able to live there. So you have to make up your mind. I don't have any advice for. Maybe you can look at my example, but my example is not common, because actually for me something gave me that courage. It's not even something I woke up and said I wanted to do. So people can just decide on their own. It's a very difficult. One Russian guy who also has the same problem described it as a bird perched on a string. Your soul will never be restful when you go abroad after the age of 9. And that's the theory. If you go abroad after the age of 9, number one, your accent will still remain there. Number two, you just still feel homesick, like a bird perched on a string. He sways back and forth, back and forth. He comes to Nigeria, goes back. When he goes back, it's not restful. He will be nostalgic about Nigeria. Then he goes back again, just like that, until the end. So it takes courage to say, let me go. Now that I have the energy, I don't want to go in a casket. I don't want to go when I'm too old to be recognized. I want when I just cannot do anything. So that is a decision individuals have to take. Some people, they want to just stay there and so-called enjoy for the rest of their life and die. And their kids will go through the same thing. Kids and their grandkids will go through the same process until they lose contact with home, you see. And that's not a good thing. Then our kids become African Americans instead of Nigerian Americans. And very few people really retain their link to home. Most people just, you just wonder, just forget about home. That's what you do after 1 or 2 generations if you don't come back. That's what will happen to you. And that's fine. But again, I have no advice. Everyone is own. Everyone is own. So whatever you want to do, you do it. But home is home. Nigeria is great. It's a great place. I enjoy Nigeria. Initially it was hard. Then I got adapted my everything to Nigeria. The food, the lack of, I created my own power. I had 24/7 power by the grace of God and the radio, so, and my needs are basic now, and I have some minimal level of comfort, very minimal, but it's fine. So that's it. I have even though I still go back and forth, but essentially I'm in Nigeria. People will be surprised when I say this, but that's the truth. That's the purpose of this radio, really, we have to listen to the people. And these people are speaking loud and clear, but silently. Not because silence too can speak out. Because people are afraid. They're afraid to confront their political class of people. They're afraid to ask questions. They're afraid to tell anything. That's why we're here. We stand in the gap to listen to the people and to let government know. This radio station is never afraid. Will never be. So, if the people listen, if you listen to the people, and you do your very best, you do well. Another thing I see in Nigeria is this wastefulness. People buy government officials of buying big cars to show off and everything, and or just using public money to do stuff, and they say because they're in politics they suffer to be there, they've been trying to be there, so they have a right to do that, and nobody calls them out for it. That is one thing I think is not right. And it's all over the country. It's not here alone. It's even in the federal government, unfortunately. So, and that is what is causing a lot of problems. And you have to listen to the youth, because youth in this country, 70% of people in this country are below 30 years of age. But the youths are not together in the sense that if they had been together, they would rule this country. They are not prepared, they are not educated enough, they are not together, everything is divided by tribe and everything. So they cannot come together to take power. So they would only be hired as gang members, as Yahoo boys, as this, as that, for petty jobs. Could you imagine a graduate doing petty jobs of 20,000? This is a country where a graduate used to be, they just give you a car when you graduate. They just give you a car and housing allowance to rent an apartment. And they would interview you during your second year in the university. That was Nigeria then, in the 70s. But today, we have so many graduates. I think our curriculum needs to be changed. So many courses that people do are not useful in today's workplace. They are not useful. And I think the curriculum of the universities or the higher institutions have to change. There shouldn't be more universities. There should be more technical schools and polytechnics. Because when you finish from there, you can do something. When you finish, the certificate you get from the university is to learn, not to do. It's to learn, it's a certificate to learn something. But again, these kids these days, it's not their fault. Sometimes I look at them like, why do you want a cleaning job as a graduate? Why would you want, just a petty job? Why would you accept 30,000 naira as pay? You said you graduated, right? And you say yes. That's what this country has come to. But the federal government's job is not to employ people. It's not to. The federal government cannot employ enough unemployed graduates. All over the world, the best employers are the small businesses. Those are the best of employers, the small businesses. And that means if you set up a small shop, you can employ one person. That's how the whole thing, in fact, the notion of employment is archaic now. Why would you take your certificate and say you're wanting someone who has created a job to employ you? You could do that too yourself. One way or the other. People say, the government is not employing. No, the government cannot employ everyone. In fact, the government is bloated already. Too many people. But again, we have to indoctrinate, we have to educate our people, our young ones. That way, the way to follow. The way to follow is not this type of education where we say people educate. No, education that is not very useful, that doesn't, enable you to set up your own business, no matter how small. How can that be any education? And I often tell people, when you graduate, go and learn something. Go and learn to do something. And the computer world, the technology world is so vast now that, so you find people study marketing, study things that are not going to be very useful, that you cannot rely on to be on your own. So this is very painful. And I see this, and our people know it. But most of our leaders have no real experience abroad. And if they do, it's just fleeting experience. Just they come, they go. They buy a house, they go. They don't know how that system works. And it's easy. Change the curriculum, make it work friendly, make it technology based. Remove all those courses. Somebody just, I was listening to someone who said, make all those core or certain courses that used to be important, make them restricted to a few universities. Few universities, like a few earlier ones. If you want to read geography, you go to Ibadan or Nsukka. If you want to read history, do that too, in that place. Those courses people, they are important, but not really important. And that thing here also is the moral degradation in our country. People just do things the way they want. So long as I get money, anything goes. That kind of attitude, it's just killing our society. So that's just what I think. My name is Dr. Ezekiel Akande. Welcome to Glow 99.1 FM.